Thank you. The senator had very similar questions to the ones I had about what are the trade-offs of these cuts, right? And for me, it's hard to miss that Space Force got excluded from having to take cuts. And I'm happy for them. That's a mission that's extremely important, but just would hope that if there's someone who's picking and choosing missions that are going to be cut versus protected, that I know you're advocating, but that sort of we realize that the units that are in highest demand should not be taking the same haircut as everybody else across the force. So hope that that's happening, and thank you for illustrating some of those trade-offs that you would have. I do want to understand what missions you have been tasked to do in recent months. I am as someone who is a CIA officer and a Middle East specialist and did 3 tours in Iraq, I am 100% with you that just because you don't hear about threats in the news every day doesn't mean they're not still out there plotting to kill Americans, attack the homeland, and do really devastating things. And we, of course, have nation states that are causing all kinds of problems. But I did see that the president designated Mexican cartels, a number of named cartels, as foreign terrorist organizations, restricting, in a positive way, American citizens from providing support, materiel, leadership in any way to those organizations. Can you describe what, if any, guidance you've been getting and giving on lethal force against cartels on the southern border, given the buildup of about 10,000 U.S. forces down there?
Thank you. I can begin with that, and then we can talk the details. The designation of foreign terrorist organization does not grant us any new authorities as a DoD entity. Is what it really does is it helps us unlock the doors to whole of government approach. Our threat finance analysts can now better provide their target packets to our counterparts in the whole of government approach. But what we are doing now is making sure that we provide options, that we can be ready, lethal, and prepared should the president need us to continue to seal and protect the border. But to answer your question directly, it does not grant us any new authorities to take direct action or so forth.
So you would need commander-in-chief authority to go, for instance, and pursue drone attacks inside Mexico against cartels. I'm just asking, Mr. Musk said publicly that that foreign terrorist designation authorizes drone strikes against Mexican cartels inside Mexico. I'm just trying to understand fact from fiction here. Do you believe you have that authority today, understanding the designation alone may not give it to you? Do you believe you have the authority today to cross over the Mexican border and use drone strikes to go after cartels?
No, ma'am. The designation of FTO does not grant us any new authorities.
But separate from the FTO designation, do you, as the service secretary, believe you have that? I'm just trying to understand. I have no problem with them being designated. I have no problem going against them and their financing, right? Their materiel. But I think certainly as part of this committee, we want to understand use of lethal force in a neighboring state. So is there in any way, separate from FTO designation, do you currently have the authority to shoot at Mexican cartels over the border right now?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. And then, I think a lot of us on the committee are very worried about Taiwan and a potential problem with China over the next few years. I'm the co-chair of the Taiwan caucus, so we think about this a lot. Can you give me your best assessment of what our security assistance activities there, our training? Maybe we have to go into classified session, but would appreciate, your role in deterrence, understanding the role you're playing in that issue.
Senator, we'll absolutely have to go into a closed session to provide details. What I would offer is that in support of INDOPACOM, you would see your special operations forces doing many of the missions you described earlier. Certainly always being prepared for crisis response inside that AOR through our theater, Special Operations Command, Special Ops Command Pacific. That is a sacred obligation. I think you would also see us in a counterterrorism way, making sure that any CT threats, in this case ISIS East Asia, we're doing in a partnered way with teammates in that region. And then I think you would see us certainly in deterrence. And the way we present ourselves is presence is placement and access. It builds relationships and partnerships and capability, and all that, I think, is very valuable to San Paparo, any COCOM commander, because it provides options and opportunities they wouldn't otherwise have, and dilemmas and challenges to the adversary.
Thank you, and I yield back.
Thank